Now then, we might have fallen short of our goal last time out, but now we're ready for a first full season in charge here at Suwon FC. If you have missed the last episodes, feel free to pop back and catch yourself up on how we got to this point, but the long and short of it is that we're heading into a new season, going all out for the title in the K-League. Asian Champions League qualification is a must, which requires top 4, and the first act, heading into the new campaign, a clear out was in order. We set about culling a bunch of dead wood and freeing up some wages with the aim of raising funds and making the squad hub less of an eyesore. A fairly generous starting budget of 3 million from the board, not too shabby, but we wouldn't be putting it to use right away. Before we advanced into the new season, we did a bit of wheeling and dealing, 2 pre-contract signings. Hwang Jae-won comes in to start at right back, joining from a bottom half side, and the fellow freebie. How could you say no to this? We're attempting to make realistic moves and we approach the only Bangladeshi player on the game trying to broaden our Asian connections. Welcome to Suwon, Hamza Chowdhury. Not even going to try and pronounce the name of that club, but you might also remember our young goalkeeper from last season that we brought into the team. We loaned him out, but that does mean that with our youngster heading out in accordance with the K-League rules stating you need at least 222 players in your matchday squad, we had to pluck someone from the academy. It's looking a little bit better for wear now than it was when we arrived. But the lucky man, Yoon Jin Kim, don't ask about the haircut, I don't know what's going on with the youth academy. Clearly they've discovered the box dye and everyone's been tucking into it, so now we've got 2 funky hair coloured chaps on the bench. But he looks like a decent centre half, which is all that I really care about. So, on to the outgoings. We saw Brazilian winger Andrigo. He was the first face out the door, said Tara, and we adequately replaced him immediately with Braden Manu, the Ghanaian winger. He was a free agent, and we dipped into the freebies for this one. You can tell we're trying to save the funds a little bit, but we're just doing some smart business. The African winger comes in, available on a free, and we snapped him up. He'll start on that right-hand side immediately, similar rating to Andrigo. And then a real statement signing this one. Joining from the current title holders, centre-back Park Jin-seob arrives for a hefty fee of £1 million. But we're looking to make a statement to the rest of the league. We mean business this year. And also from a top team, a loan move this time, Lee Jin-hyun comes in to provide depth in the 10 and also out wide. So take a look, all told, 18 outgoings. Andrigo joined the team that we got Chowdhury from actually, which is a nice bit of business. And his Brazilian counterpart Willian, he was a goner as well. But now we've got a very, very healthy looking balance, as you can see in the finance tab. But also, more importantly, the main reason for the clear out, a much healthier looking squad hub. Much nicer on the eye to begin with. And we'll scroll through it now properly this time. Last time in episode 3 I had to speed up the footage because it was such a stupidly big squad. But now, without setting up a bomb squad, we've just decided to get rid of some of the deadwood, clear out some of the players that were never going to get any minutes, try to get them to realistic destinations where we could as well. But making a few pre-contract signings, a free agent signing, and then a few little statements from teams at the top of the division, getting their players, I think we're going to mean business this year. And a look through the team sheet now after all that business. Obviously Sabag is in up top, a declining Tyson in the 10, Gabriel Zinho on the left. J1 takes the armband this season as Yoonbit Garam drops to the bench. Obviously partnered in midfield by our poster boy Hamza. We've moved him back into midfield from right back. Manu on the right ahead of the fellow new boy Hwang Jae-won. Hopefully the 2 surnames don't get confusing there. Obviously the Korean Puyol next to the big man, the big signing Park Jin-seob. Industrious fullback Park Chul-woo keeps his place, as does An Jun-soo. Ji-don Wong on the bench because of course he is. A few more nondescript players. Lee Jin-hyun takes up his position. Yoonbit Garam, as we mentioned, drops to the bench with his old age, but he's still got a bit to give, don't worry about that. And then obviously our pink head centre half and our green head keeper. And then as we look at the reserves quickly, much more manageable, just the 2 rows. And as we advance through the final hour of deadline day, delighted with our business, looking forward to the season, and we're ready to go. Hang about. What is this? What have we got here? European mainstays young boys have come in for our star striker Pablo Sabag, and we're trying to keep this a realistic save. You wouldn't deny a player at his stage of the career the opportunity to play in Europe, so we try and squeeze out a bigger fee. They've got no problem coughing it up. So that is that. Our Syrian bagsman will be leaving us at the start of the next window, so we've got him for the first few months of the season, but we're going to have to bear that in mind once we get to the summer window. putting that behind us for now. We crack on with pre-season, finally getting some minutes into the players, something we didn't have the luxury of when we first took this job, winning our first game against an Indian side. And look at this! Hello chaps, long time no see. A nice little reunion on our hands in the pre-season tournament. It would be rude not to play it. Nice to catch up with some of our old boys, the Cumdog of course, but it was Ji Dong Wong to put us ahead in this one, and apparently replays were just not available at the start of this game. But his first goal back in Suwon colours, albeit in a friendly, puts it into the back of the net, but it didn't mean that Melbourne Victory wouldn't threaten as they work it into the box. How's that for a save from our Minecraft grass block in net? But later on into the game, Zinho gets it into the area, lays it off for our new low knee, Lee Jin-hyun. And I mean, I'm not sure about the celebrations, lads. Do we know it's pre-season? We're going mental. But there we go. Shame to see both Juan Mata and Ochoa were left on the bench. Clearly didn't want to roll out the Zimmer frames. Hopefully we had a little catch-up with them. Final game of pre-season, ended 0-0. Nothing really happened, but that was enough for the tournament trophy. Don't worry, we are not going to count that as our silverware. But now, that's the transfers done. That's pre-season done. Let's crack on, shall we? On with the highlights. We're going to run through these matches and then see where we stand come the summer window. About 20 games in, but this year we want it. We've made some big moves in the market. We've spent our money wisely, but that all will mean nothing if we do not back it up on the pitch. Probably going to need a bigger tifo there for Hamza and his trim. But here is the lineup. Don't expect that to change all too much for this run of games. Only thing to note for this game against Ulsan Loni, Lee Jin-hyun is unavailable for selection against his parent club. But not to worry. Let's get going, shall we? Season 2 underway. Right away, we've got a chance to make an impression. Playing a top 4 side from last season, an opening day result would be mega. And that man presents himself inside the area. Pablo Sabag. We know that he's leaving us, but that does not stop him from getting off the mark this time. Like an old bar of soap, we are going to use that man until there's nothing left of him. They break into the box though. Good hands from our goalkeeper and Jansu called into action, but in the second half they put us under the cosh. Started threading passes, one touch footy, they work it into the area and eventually they equalise. Not ideal. Before long we found ourselves trailing. Yeah, another nice little move straight into the top corner. What can you do about that on this difficulty? But Tyson and Sabag linking up like Penn and Teller, these two. You just don't know what tricks they've got up their sleeves. And they're putting a smile on our faces, that's for sure. Sabag makes it a brace for himself, and that levelled it up. In a game that felt destined to end in a Desmond, J1 looking for a bit of inspiration, finds the diminutive Brazilian, and that is a special finish. What a strike from Tyson. What a way to start the season. It's a last minute winner. It's limbs, it's bodies, the gaffers down the touchline. And that was it. Game set. We had to take him off to run the clock. But that is not a bad way to start the season at all, is it? Opening day, victory for Suwon. 3-2. And we mean business this year. On to the next one. We're hoping the new signings can make a difference. And look at that. Right away, Park Jin-seo putting the crown jewels on the line for that one. Love it. And at the opposite end, Tyson on the ball. Looks to feed through for Manu. Good strike, but a great save. He denies us. And the game rolls on. They whip the ball into the box. Keeper's not covered himself in glory there, has he? They take the lead. But we still try and work something. Those two linking up again. Because obviously. But Sabag, this time, puts it wide of the mark. Gabriel Zinho takes a touch like he's in one of those French Snapchat videos, but works it into the area for Tyson. You know what he's going to do at the end of that. Straight into the back of the net. Get that ball. We want the victory here. We're better than this. But they still come forward. Nice little triangle of play there. And straight into the top corner. You just can't defend it. We try and work something for ourselves. Sabag out wide into Zinho, who's got a lot of space. Whips it in for Tyson to do it late again, but this time it's saved. And their keeper, fair play to him, he's won them all 3 points. That was all she wrote in that one. We fall to defeat. There were promising signs in that game though, and we look to bounce back away at FC Anyang. In for Sabag. Good save, but Gabriel Zinho on the scraps. How do you actually miss that? It took until the second 45 for us to eventually find the breakthrough. Braden Manu gets it in behind. Tidy finish into the far corner. Goalkeeper never reaching that. Big fan of this celebration as well. Thwack. But as the game approached the full-time whistle, it's Ji Dong Wong to get his first competitive goal for Suwon. He's hardly been a big influence, but he's here for the vibes. We love him. And that was it. A 2-0 victory on the road and the perfect way to bounce back. Next up, another top side, Pohang Steelers. They had our number last season, but this year we want to mean business. First half didn't bring many chances, that was the closest anybody came. But in the second 45, they work it nicely. And again, what are you meant to do? In off the crossbar. But we have a corner, a chance to level it, whipped in. Sabag knocks it down, and Choi Kyu-baek, he fluffs it. That was the big chance, we knew it. But that piss whistler in the first half from their number 9 was enough to see us off. Desperately craving a return to winning ways, we faced off against the title holders Jeonbuk Hyundai. We took their centre back. Can we take the win here? We go close early doors through Manu, but his effort is wide and whoa, steady on Gaffer. Jesus Christ. Not sure about that. But Manu picks it up on the right hand side in the second half. Finds Sabag inside the area. Bang! There it is, back of the net. We have the lead away from home. But they are no fools. They've won the league for a reason and they just pluck a chance out of nothing. Work it across the box. And that was it, level in a flash. We pick the ball up from a long pass into the feet of Tyson. What can he do? Swivels on it. Sabag knocks it round the corner and it's our Bengali box crasher. Hamza Chowdhury with his first goal for Suwon FC. Restores the advantage. Fantastic stuff. They wanted all 3 points. We came to their backyard and we took it. Give us your centre back. Give us the win. We're out of there. We then faced Gangwon, looking to snowball our momentum. Had a few early chances in this one. Set piece providing fruitful opportunities, but another opportunity from Manu goes wide this time. Their defence and goalkeeper stood firm. But then it was our captain into Sabag. Spins his man. Eat that! Top corner. Our number 9 on fire this season. We had the momentum our way all day long in this match, and we looked to spring them on the break. Right back Hwang Jae-won feeds the low knee. Lee Jin-hyun, back of the net, smashes it home, and that was it. A 2-0 victory on our travels. Not too shabby. Unfortunately though, our trip to Daegu wasn't all sunshine and rainbows to begin with. Jae-won's skinned by his former employers and they zip it in between themselves until they find the back of the net. Whatever. But they break down the right hand side this time, put in a hopeful cross, and look at this. Bloke's just nodded it down for himself and volleyed it in. Ridiculous. But we needed to find a way back into the game, needed a route back into it somehow, and Tyson's at the heart of it. You know what he's going to do when you give him space in the area. Get that ball, get us back to the centre circle. We know we're better than this. Free kick. Thought they were trying some FIFA 16 Chris MD bollocks against me, but whatever that was, it somehow worked, and they restore the 2-goal cushion. But on the right hand side now, trying to work a little triangle, we find space for Zinho. Mate, seriously, I'm going to need to see that passport, mate. You're on fraud watch big time. A free kick of our own though. We work it smartly, work it low, setting it up for Sabag. You know he's going to be in the box, lashes it home, but it was too little too late and we slumped to defeat on the road. Let's put that behind us though. Despite the result, we know we can still play some serious football until it drops to Gabriel Zinho, mate. He's got me feeling like Mark Goldbridge, because that's not even a real name. But he gets it again here. Can he finish? Of course he bloody can't, but Sabag's on hand to finish, so we'll let him off. Been bailed out by the Syrian. But in the second half, he gets it out wide, finds it the feet of the industrious underlapping fullback Park Chol-woo. I love that. Sabag with the finish, and it's a shame that we're going to be losing our big sexy Syrian when we hit the summer window. But into the later stages now, we work the ball into the box, trying to make something happen, trying to find a third, and you don't see many of these. Ref! Penalty all day long. I mean, Lee Ji-hyun has sold it big time. But Sabag not on the pitch to complete his hat-trick. G steps up and that is the perfect penalty. And I tell you what, celebration's not half bad either. I didn't know he still had those moves in him. Crikey. But that's it for the highlights now. So I'll pass you over for the final game of the episode. Right then, just before we hit the summer window, we've got a big problem. We know Sabag's off to Europe, but we also know that we've got no other goal scorers in the team. Tyson's popped up with a few, but we need to replace those goals somehow. Okay then, so heading into the final match before the transfer window opens, which most significantly for us means it's going to be Pablo Sabag's final game here at Suwon FC. Can he leave something to be remembered by? We're against Ulsan, who are up there in the table with us. They were one of the teams that were in the top split last season, ended up qualifying for the Asian Champions League, which is something that we want to be doing this year for sure. So a win here away from home would go a long way towards that. But let's see how we get on. And there he is, the main man, leaving us after this game. Did score 2 in the last match, as you saw, but the Syrian striker, this will be his last match. What can he do for us? And here's our team then, pretty much unchanged from how we started the season. We have got a change at the back. Choi Kyu-baek is declining a little bit with age, so Lee Ji-sol is coming in. And only other thing to note for this one is the Ulsan loanee Lee Jin-hyun is unavailable against his parent club. But here we go. The Syrian's last match here in South Korea. He'll get us underway. Into the middle. Played into space. Shot comes in, but it's wide. Ludwigsen puts it wide of the mark, thankfully. Knocked down. J1. Sabag's there. Oh, we'll go Zinho instead. Tyson. What can we do? Fullback kept the run going. Park Chol-woo. Sabag, can you get to the space? He can! That type of finish we've seen from him so many times this season. The poacher in what will be his final appearance for Suwon. Not just his 10th of the season in 20 matches. It's not a bad return at all, but he'll be heading off to Europe, off to Switzerland to play European football with young boys. But if that's his parting gift, we don't mind it. Get that out. Good stuff. Okay, positive first half. Really positive first half. Sabag obviously with the go-ahead goal. Going to look to maintain this in the second. Sabag's up there. He's all on his own, but can we knock it down? We can. Manu, you make that. The Ghanaian. Where can he go? Can't really get it beyond the man. Hamza's in there though. Drops in. Tyson. Sabag. Spin. Oh, he's not quite got the pace. We're going to have to hit it. That's a good stop though. Really good effort in the end. Corner. In towards Hwang Jae-won with the header. Blocked on the line. Oh, we've nearly got that goal cushion that we're after. And there we go. That will be it. His final appearance. Capped off with a goal. Pablo Sabag, the Syrian striker. We'll miss you, mate. We'll have to sort out a replacement for you in the window. That's an unnecessary one. I thought the ball was there to be won. Lee Ji-sol flew in. What's the decision going to be from the ref? Only a yellow. Take it over. Ah, sloppy. But that doesn't matter. That is it. A 1-0 win on the road against Ulsan. A big, big statement win there as we look to challenge for not only the top 4 but possibly the league as well. And we'll see what the table's looking like when we come out of this game. But that's job done. And it's a suitable farewell for our Syrian bagsman, Pablo Sabag. He's off to play in those UEFA competitions whilst we look to qualify for the Asian Champions League. That's all she wrote in his Suwon chapter. 1-0 win on the road. Good stuff. Well then, out of that game does mean that we are into the transfer window, but that also means a certain man is leaving us, and we know that we need to replenish those goals. We've had a look at the squad hub. Nobody is popping up with the sort of goals and the numbers that we want, but we'll have a look in our inbox now. Confirmation, Sabag has departed. He's joined Young Boys. He's no longer with us, and we need to find a replacement in the window. But having a look in the office, we've got 7 million quid to make something happen. I think we can do something with that available budget. Let's see what we can do with it. And this is where we're going to leave you. We'll have a little peep at the table. 4th place at the moment. Not too shabby. 36 points. We are not far away from the top whatsoever. A couple of wins against those top 3 sides and we're going to be right in the mix. I think it's justification for the board to let us use that dough to try and find a replacement striker. Well then, Pablo, our big Syrian. It's been real, it's been fun, but out the door you go. Do something for us in the Champions League, mate. But we had to turn our attention quickly. There's no time to waste. And I tell you what, 6 million quid has been spent on the replacement. It's a steep fee. It's basically all the cash we've got. But it's a gamble that we are willing to take. Well, you can see here the media reckon that we're going to be in that title race. That's what we want to see. And that's what we believe. So if you do want to see that, catch us in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the Journeyman Save. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers for watching. Bye-bye.